All right, you guys, I'm excited. My name is Jackie Deering. I'm a presidential with It Works. And I cannot wait to bring this to you guys tonight. This is a training that I'm so passionate about. This is something that very early on changed my business. When I figured out how to enroll distributors and how to do this the right way, it allowed us to just explode our business. So our purpose for tonight is to make sure we're delivering content and tips for you guys that it's going to help you grow your business on social media. So enrolling distributors. We've got 5 guests on here tonight that consistently enroll distributors, and we're so excited to share these tips with you. So if you have questions while we're going, please throw them in the comments. I'll write them down as we go, and we can add them on. But we're going to just take 2 seconds and introduce ourselves. So you guys, my name is Jackie Deering. Like I mentioned, I'm a presidential with It Works. I've been in for 2.5 years. And, because of It Works is just that I've been able to really live a life of financial freedom and time freedom. Before this business, I was working 2 jobs, 60 hours a week, 6 days a week. And I was a new mom just struggling. And it wasn't until I really decided that I was going to make this business work that my life drastically changed. And that pretty much sums up, my long story in 2 minutes, because we want to get to the good stuff. But I'm really excited to introduce to you guys we have Krista. So Krista is a triple diamond. Krista, let me unmute you. I see yourself. There we go. Okay.
All right, Jackie. Okay, like Jackie said, my name is Krista Santos. I'm a triple diamond with It Works, obviously. It Works has changed my life 1,000%. 2 years ago, when It Works found me on Facebook, overweight and really struggling with all the anxiety and depression that comes with life. I was a pastor's wife, but really struggling with putting on a lot of weight after having our miracle baby after 11 years, and just doing anything and everything I could to be able to stay home with him, which meant that we were in a really financially tough spot. But I prioritized my health. I jumped onto It Works, and I started losing weight like crazy. In 3 months, I lost 30 pounds, and I said, hey, I wonder if I can make money at this too. And so I jumped into the business, and in 3 months went diamond, and in a 1.5 years, I've been able to bring my husband home full-time from his job as a pastor, and now we're a full-time family. We're homeschooling our son, which is like my dream come true, and because of It Works, my whole life has changed.
So good. Thank you, Krista. Okay, let's hop over to April. April, I'm just looking through to you, but if you can unmute.
We should go to Slam Studio.
Oh, hey guys, just make sure you read it. I'm just going to keep going through and meeting you guys all. I'm looking through. Oh, there we go. I muted.
Okay, so just go ahead.
Yeah, just your quick story.
Okay. Hi, guys. Nice to meet you. I'm April Jennings, Ambassador Diamond in Canada. I think a lot of us on here are Canadian, but there's a lot of Americans. So if It Works, because of It Works was my husband was in the military. He served 7 years total, and that was fine when we had no kids, because it was just fine. He could be away, I could work my job, I was okay. Then we had Abrielle, and I realized that wasn't going to work anymore, and that's actually right when I found this business. So my why was pretty big. I wanted to at first just be able to fly anywhere while he was deployed, because my mind didn't think big enough to think, oh, I could retire him. I was just thinking maybe I could fly anywhere while he's deployed. And then once that took off, I realized I could retire him. So I retired him from the military. So now, just like Krista, we're a full-time family, and we bought our dream home in Alberta. And, and I don't want to make it sound like it's all just easy, but we'll explain that on the rest of the Zoom. So let's just get to it.
Thanks, dude. All right, Caitlin, scrolling through to find you guys all at major speed here, but if you can unmute before I can find you.
Hey. Okay, I'm Caitlin. I'm 23. I joined this business under 2 years ago as well, and I joined when we unexpectedly got pregnant and did not have the finances to do it. I was working with more like a government job. It was like with underprivileged families, and it didn't make much money, so I didn't have much of a savings account. Like my maternity leave check was so low that couldn't afford literally anything. It was actually a nightmare. And I jumped in literally the day I saw Jackie post about her bonus that she had earned, because literally all I thought was, like, if there is another mom doing this and, like, raising her kids, like, so well, staying home, like, I wanted her life so bad. I jumped in and just took off running, and less than 2 years later, both me and my fiance are both triple diamonds in the company, and I've quit my job. We have a beautiful home, like, changed everything.
So good. So good. So crazy. 2 triple diamond paychecks. And you guys, if you guys don't, like, Google it. Like, that's pretty good money. Okay, let me scroll through. Courtney.
Hi. Hey. I'm Courtney. I am a teacher in Canada, in Vancouver, British Columbia, and I joined after watching and stalking Jackie for 2 years. And so I basically joined because my husband is in professional baseball, and he's gone 10 months of a year, and we were living long distance, and it was really, really tough. I was struggling whenever I would go and visit him. I couldn't work because I couldn't teach, so I was going long spurts without making any money. So just recently I joined in March, and it has been absolutely life-changing because now I can travel. I can afford to fly home back and forth whenever I basically want. Like, I just flew home for a family reunion this month because I didn't want to miss that. And in the past, I would have had to just miss it, which is horrible. So I just prioritized my family time. And now we're living that kind of life where we get to see each other way more often than we used to. And I can actually make money while I'm away from my teaching job during the summer months. And it's just been life-changing for my family, and I'm excited.
So good. You guys need to check out Courtney's Instagram. She literally travels the world and works on the beach. It's like the actual, like, Instagram goal. Okay, yeah. And lastly, let's just hop over to Marisa. Not lastly, you know, I love you.
Hello. Hi, y'all. I am, oh my God, I just said y'all, and I'm like, I'm from Texas. I am a double diamond with It Works, and guys, like, oh, I'm feeling all these emotions. So I just got back today from our diamond retreat here in Texas, and my because of It Works is, there's so many. I'm going to pull one though. So I have a son that is on the spectrum that we had no idea that we were even going to have. And so when I started this business, it found me on Instagram from a girl from California, and it caught my attention. I was a brand new mom, and I just wanted to not be living paycheck to paycheck. And my boss, you know, working in corporate America, living paycheck to paycheck, it's like, oh, your son is sick? Like, yeah, you're going to have to take vacation time to take him to the doctor. And it was just like, why? I'm earning this vacation time for vacation, right? And so I started a business, and what I didn't know at the time is that I was praying for an answer. And you guys, I found this business in a Chick-fil-A line. I watched the girl on Instagram. I prayed and prayed, came through a Chick-fil-A line, bawling my eyes out, very postpartum with gorgeous boobs, let's just be honest, and bawling. And I come around the corner, and this girl has a "It Will Change Your Life" sticker, right, on her back of her car, while I'm in deep prayer about how I'm going to make money to be home with my kids because I don't want to go to corporate America anymore. So you guys, 2 years later, I had another son, and he's on the autism spectrum. And what I didn't know is that from saying yes to this business 2 years prior to that, is that I was going to be able to be home with my brand new son full time. And I never miss a therapy session, you guys. It's amazing. So that is my biggest because of It Works.
I love that so much. You guys, one thing I want to add before we get started into these questions, we have a lot of questions. So as you guys are hopping on and on here, if you have anything that you're wondering, just, you know, regarding anything signing distributors, retaining distributors, anything you want to answer to your team want answers, throw it in the chat. We'll make sure to come back to it. One thing I just want to speak, you know, I just want to speak some vision over you guys right now. I want to know who's new. If you're within 3 months in this business, put a 1 in the comments. And one thing I want to say is, when you start this business, sometimes it's very hard to have that vision of like where this can actually take you, right? You're looking at these charts, you're looking at all these things you have to do, like what's the customer, what's the distributor, you know, your vision at the beginning of this business needs to be, you know, like where you see yourself having success. So I'm going to give you a 3-minute break time before we get started. When I started, my goal was to make 500 a month because that was going to bring me home to be home with my kids. So it wasn't just I want to make 500. I was envisioning what that 500 would actually do for me. So when I felt myself making $500 from social media a month, I saw myself at home with my kids. I saw myself having this life that I dreamed of. And so you need to be able to, match that goal with what effort you're going to put in. And thankfully our company has something called charting. Hello, we can actually match, whatever income we want to make per month with the rank that we need to hit. So I looked at Ruby and I was like, okay, all I need to do to hit Ruby is have 3, that was 5 back then, but 3 distributors, at this group volume. And that would allow me to make an average of 500 a month. But when you break it down further, if you actually are starting this business, or maybe you're not, maybe you've been in for a bit and you have a goal amount per month that is going to change your life, I want you to think about it this way. Let's say your amount is $1,000. $1,000 a month is going to change your life. You can actually break that down with our company where, do you guys know what a fast start bonus is? In the comments, put a thumbs up if you love fast start, or put something if you love fast start. I don't know if we can put thumbs up, but put something if you love a fast start bonus. And so when I started, my thoughts were like, okay, if I could just enroll 5 distributors a month and get them fast start qualified, that is guaranteed that $500 plus the commissions. And so that's what actually gave me that vision when I didn't really know what I was doing. And you guys have that same opportunity today. So what I'm trying to say is, whatever that number is for you, know that you can take absolute control of it while you're building that commissions check to not only get those fast start bonuses to hit your rank, but or to hit that income goal, but to build your chart. So as I was mastering how to become a mass distributor enroller from these tips we're going to share with you today, this is something where you can directly tie based on your actions, not your team's actions, on how much money you want to make. So if you want to make $500 a month, my best piece of advice for you is to, first of all, follow every single person that's on this Zoom because they kill it, but outsource some other people that enroll distributors and do as they do. Copy the right people. Success leaves clues, and that's how you can really directly know how much money you can make from this business. Okay. So we have a bunch of questions we're going to work through. You guys, the first question we have is, and maybe April, you can start us off. A daily routine that contributes to you mass enrolling distributors. What is something that you are doing on social media daily that contributes to you bringing in distributors?
Okay, so when I'm enrolling a lot of distributors, I'm doing a lot of lifestyle posts for sure. I'm posting, every single day. I just got off my mat leave, but if you go back before mat leave for the last 5 years, I post every single day. I like to just generate conversations. If I have conversations going, I have enrollments coming in. And I've realized that in this business, it's that simple. Sometimes I'll follow 10 different leaders and they all do 10 different things, and then I get overwhelmed. I'm like, what do I do for my business? And I realized at the end of the day, it doesn't matter which thing I choose. It matters that I do something consistently, and for me that something is conversation. So whether I'm getting out a lot of hosts to post, because hosts to post bring in distributors, you get people to host, and if their post blows up, you turn it right around and you just say, hey, would you like to make some income with me, right? There is an opportunity to make income. You can do your story and put a poll at the end, and whoever votes on it at the end of the day, you go in and you message the people who voted on it. So for me, the habit that you need every day when I'm enrolling a lot of distributors, when I'm going for promotions, it's conversations. And I write down, I have a 7-day calendar that I really love. So it's simple. It's really messy, but I write down what I'm going to do every single day. And the things that are on this calendar it boils down to conversations. What I mean by that is whether I'm asking people to host a post, I'm doing polls and messaging those people at the end of the day, or I'm doing a funny post and whoever likes it, I message them like Jade does. And I say, hey girl, thanks so much for the love on my post. I have no idea if this is for you or not, but would you take a look at what I'm doing? Would you want to make money from home? So those are the things I do. Jackie.
Whoopsie daisies. Caitlin, same question. What is something that you're doing on a daily basis that you contribute to your success with mass enrolling distributors?
Okay, so for me, lifestyle posts as well. Like every single day there's lifestyle posts, and a full post like telling my entire story at least every 2 to 3 days. Because I truly believe that if somebody has to scroll a decent amount in order to find your story on your page, there's a good chance people are missing it. So you always want your story to be like right near the top of your profile at all times, as well as mine is highlighted on both my Instagram and Facebook. So like how you can have highlights, there's like my story in pictures. So I do that. I also recently started doing host to post for distributors, which I didn't do before, but it's taken off so incredibly much this month. I literally have over 200 potential distributors from host to post alone this month, like absolutely blowing up. So I'm just like always posting my story, as well as stories. I'll do like slides of like business opportunities, but then I'll do videos of my stories every single day. Just talking about like, it'll be super random and short. Even like if I'm playing outside with Heidi, I'll like show my house in the background and just make like a really quick comment about like, oh yeah, like this is my house we got because of this company. And the amount of people that just ask questions, like it doesn't have to be a full blown like video telling your story every single time. But even just sneak like sentences here and there about like things that are happening because of what you're doing. And I can promise you, if you're consistent with it, people will reach out and be like, okay, like, what do you mean by all of this? And it just gains so much interest by just like throwing it in there all the time.
Yeah, that's so good. And you guys, I think I'm just reading through the comments here. One thing that you want to keep in mind too is your story doesn't have to be this big win, right? Like you don't need to make $1 million to have a story. You need to be relatable to people. And so I think where a lot of people kind of, and this is just my opinion, you're going to hear a lot of different ways to build this business. And, you know, like there is not one right way to build. But for me, like my style is not to go and like message new friends and be like, what kind of dog do you have? I love your page. Like that's just a waste of time. You don't want to build relationships through all these pointless conversations, in my opinion. You want to be straight to the point in Messenger, but on your posts be relatable. And so when you're new in this business, or even if you're not, talking about the small wins is going to be what attracts people to you. So I'm going to give you an example. You know, 2.5 years ago when I started this business, my first paycheck was $30 for the whole entire month. 11 cents an hour full time. No, it's fine. But I didn't talk about that. I went to the gas station and I took a picture of me filling up my gas. And I said, I'm so thankful that this business, just put gas in my car, because you guys, I work 60 hours a week and I struggle to put money in my gas tank. Like, hello, we're not the first person that's ever struggled. And so when you can take down your wall and be vulnerable and, share the struggles that you have and your why, your reason as to why you joined, every post doesn't have to be a long drawn out, like story. Just talking about those small wins, that's what's going to attract people. People want to be able to relate to what you're saying. So Caitlin's really good at this. She'll talk about, before the outline that you want to use when you're posting lifestyle posts. One of the outlines is, what is something before this business that you did not like? Okay. So for me, I didn't like how I was working 60 hours a week to be $60,000 in credit card debt to never see my kids before this business. Why I joined because I watched somebody else be successful, and I saw that if they were making money, I could make money, and I was willing to do whatever it took because my kids are like what I'm doing this for. And now where I'm going, you guys, you don't need to make $1 million. You need to tell them that you're going to do something. So I used to say for so long, I'm going Ruby next month and I'm going to earn $500 a month, and this is what it will do for me. And doing that over and over and over again allows people to relate to you. Does that make sense? So you're not having to sell or convince, like you're just being you. Like, you guys really don't be anybody else, be yourself, and understand that if there's a you out there, there's somebody else out there feeling what you're feeling, and you need to be the light for them. Right? So if you're sitting in your car and you're just starting this business and you're feeling down in the dumps because, maybe you're broke, maybe your car doesn't even start, and you're like, who is going to join me because I'm sitting here in this position? No, you need to talk about where you're going. So you're going to get in your car, you're going to take a picture of if you think you're the only person that's gotten in a car and it hasn't started, like, dude, like, this is the reality, And so you talk about that. You say, I got in my car today and it never started. This is the last time I will allow myself to live like this. I will be a Ruby. I will be a diamond. I will make an income from this business that will allow me to get myself a new car. And you talk about that every day. Be a visionary for the people on your team. Okay. One thing I'm going to say before we get started, you guys, or while we get started, you guys know I'm very red, so I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but I'm looking at the chats, and what I'm going to say is if you're on this Zoom, you're on this Zoom to be solution-minded. I don't want to see the chat saying, oh my gosh, I can't. No, you're on here because you're going to learn. Okay. If you guys think you're the first person that has struggled with a conversation with somebody and they've like, come on. Okay. You're in a business, you're taking on this business owner mindset. Every single thing that you're going to take today is something that you're going to apply to overcome these objections. You become what you think about. So don't stay in the comments complaining. All you need to be taking from this is notes. Okay. Let's be solution minded from this. Okay. You guys, next question. Krista, can you let's say when we get it, we're going to bounce all over the place here. As you're enrolling distributors or as you're bringing in potentials, how are you motivating these people to work?
There we go. Can you hear me now? Okay, so number one, I don't motivate anybody. That's their job. But my job is to lead from the front and to inspire. And so by my consistency and me doing the things over and over and over again and leading the way and showing them this is what you do, that to me is the biggest inspirational part. I mean, of course, I'm going to share just like now, here's what I would recommend, here's what I suggest, here's those kind of things. But I really, truly feel like your people, the people that are signing up with you, that are trusting your mentorship, they need to see you really doing the things that you're talking about. And so if you say things like, and this is where what you're speaking out is so important, but if you say things like, well, I'm just going to take it easy today, guys, so whatever, and you say that in your team chat, or you say, hey, April. So if you say, selfie time, guys, smile. No, if you say like, okay, you know what, I'm going on vacation with my family this week, see you next week, and you don't post all week because you're on vacation mode, guess what? While you're gone, your team is going to struggle. Like that is, you need to be consistent. And I'm not saying you can't ever take time off, but what we do is not hard, you guys. It's consistent, and the consistency is, I think, the hardest part, right? And so it means having the discipline to get up every day and do what you need to do. The beautiful thing about this is that as you build it, though, you get to the level where you're building, you're creating something with this business that you don't need to take a vacation from. So when you are in Hawaii for a month with your family, unbelievably, because of this business, you don't say, I'm in Hawaii for a month, see you in a month, guys. You're like, I'm in Hawaii because of freaking it works, and I want to shout it from the rooftop, and I'm going to go live more than I've ever gone live in my life. I'm going to be up at the crack of dawn. I'm going to be running. I'm going to be sharing the sunsets, the sunrises with people. I'm going to be showing them exactly what kind of life this business can bring for them and their family, and the opportunity that it really and truly is. If you're going to just be showing them I'm like, is that the answer to the question? Sorry, Jackie, I could just go on and on. I'm like, you're going to just show them how it's going to change your whole life, because it will. You use the products, you guys, and all of a sudden your body is transformed. I got people telling me I look 10 years younger than I looked a year ago. And I've got people that are like, what the heck are you doing over there? I need that. And I started running when we were in Hawaii for a month in May. And everybody sees that. They see, okay, she wasn't consistently running. She tried running a couple times. It wasn't working out for her so good. She didn't have time, blah, blah, blah. I started running every second day when we were in Hawaii for a month. I came back from Hawaii and I started running a half marathon every single Sunday, you guys, because of it works, because my body has never had the level of nutrition it's had. Do you think I'm selling greens? Right? Do you think people want that kind of transformation in their life? Absolutely. But you got to share it with them consistently. You got to be in front of them.
She did go to Hawaii for 19 days. I'm just saying, no big deal, with her whole fam. Okay, Court.
After I retired my husband. It's fine.
I can't with you. Okay, Court. So you guys, what I love about Courtney is she's newer in the business, but she kills it. Okay, kills it. She's she does it good or no, I shouldn't say it. She does it great, but with style. Like, you know, there's just like, it's just crazy. So Courtney, what would you say, like something that you're doing that is allowing people that aren't even necessarily on your team yet to be motivated by what you're doing? Like, what are you doing daily on social media that is attracting all these people to you?
Well, I am just so lucky. I get to be in different places all the time. And so I use that to my advantage. So whether I'm on a plane with my dog and I go, you know, I just use my situations. Like I'm in some crazy situations sometimes, and I use that. And I used to look at it and be like, oh man, how am I going to make this work? But you guys have just taught me to open my mind about literally everything can be a lifestyle post. And so I connect with people that way. And I'll just literally the other day, I took a picture of my dog. I got her a haircut. It was so expensive, but I'm like, oh, I'm not worried about it. I can afford her these fancy things because of it works. And so I use those things to my advantage. And, you know, like I will be at the beach majority of the time when I'm visiting, you know, whatever city I'm at. And so I use that to my advantage. And I'm in a really unique situation with the lifestyle I'm living. So I'll join like the Facebook groups, obviously, and connect with those people in long distance relationships and say, hey, if you're struggling, you know, if you're struggling with this, why don't you do what I'm doing so you don't have to struggle with it anymore? And I do that in a unique, authentic, creative. I love creating stories. And I know sometimes they're not always income producing activities, but I feel indirectly that they are, because the minute I changed my generic Pinterest, it works slides on my stories to me, and just literally, I'm just like, okay, people are going to judge me. And it's just so scary to go live. And it's so scary to put my face out there. But literally I haven't had anything negative come from it. If anything, I've gotten more messages from potential distributors. Just last night, I did, a story of just authentically me using minimal tools, minimal apps. And I find that has truly changed the game for me, is just being less afraid and just being my authentic and genuine in my stories and in my conversations with people. But yeah, and also taking advantage of the crazy situation that I'm in, being at the beach, being at the pool, being at the ball games, being at the airport with Coco.
With Coco. With Coco. No, you guys, that's so good. And one thing I want to point out that she said there was, you know, how are we attracting people to her, right? And she's being strategic with it. Mm-hmm. And this is something actually Krista had to give. I'm just gonna touch on this real quick. I want to add things as we conversate here, because I really want you guys to take this in. This is something that Krista had to actually, Krista, I don't know if you remember this, but whenever I was training my team to grow their network, I used to tell my team, just go find a boutique and follow the followers. And Krista was like, no, dude, not everybody likes boutique. Go be strategic with who you're growing your network with. And so just like Courtney said, whenever she's attracting these people and motivating people to come talk to her, it's not by luck. I want you guys to really know that anybody that you see successful is not lucky. They are strategic and they work really hard. So with Courtney, mentioning that she has a long distance relationship, or her husband is playing baseball, right? She is strategically growing her network with the people that are going to be interested in what she has. And so ask yourself, who are you? Right? Are you a mom? Do you travel? Are you a teacher that's doing this on the side? Do you have just whatever it is, you are you, and find other people like you. And so whenever you're posting about being you and you're being authentic, this is where people are going to relate. Right? So for a long time, I was growing my network with makeup artists, and I can't even draw my eyebrows on straight. And so there's just no relation, right? They're who is this messy lady that's trying to be my friend, right? When I started finding other people like me, it was just I didn't have to fight it, right? Okay, Marisa, if you could start all over again, if you were a brand new distributor, knowing what you knew now in terms of growing your team, what would you say? What advice would you give yourself?
To not be I have so many conversations with new distributors, and they're like, I don't have a story yet. But you do. You do have a story. Why did you sign up? People want to go somewhere with someone that knows where they're going. And so when you continue to put that out, on your post, on your stories, and you know, like this is a good example. Like we're on this Zoom, right? And I just saw somebody ask, which is such a good question too. They asked, can I have the Instagram handles of the host on the Zoom, right? They're gonna come and follow us. Here's one thing that you can do as somebody that's brand new. So anybody that put ones on here, if you took a screenshot of this Zoom right now, or a selfie of you like in the Zoom, and you're like on team training, and guess what? I'm with this top income earners internationally, and you know, whatever. So right, you're like putting this out there, and then you say, and if you want this kind of training, shoot me a message or vote on this poll, right? So like you may not have a story yet, and you may feel like I'm not hosting a Zoom yet, and I don't have a team yet, and I'm not doing this yet, and I'm not doing that yet, right? And you're saying those things, but you're on here right now because you want to go somewhere. And that, like, don't downsize that. Like where you want to go, don't downsize that. Put it out there. Your dreams are big, and your goals are big, and what the reason, like your why is big, like why you signed up, that's a big thing. It's a big deal to you, right? And don't downsize that. Like put that out there as a new distributor. Say, hey, this is why I signed up. This is where I'm going. I'm so freaking excited. I have like had results. I've dropped 20 pounds. My hair's X amount longer. You know, my skin looks like this because of collagen. These pixie sticks are like giving me so much energy to be able to keep up with my toddlers and keep up with corporate America. But guess what? I'm not going to need to deal with corporate America long because these pixie sticks are going to retire me, right? Put that out there. Say that, because people want to go somewhere with someone that knows where they're going. And as long as you know where you're going, the how's going to happen. You just got to know where. Just know where you're going, and the how's going to happen. That's why, put it out there. Put it in the universe.
I love that. Oh my gosh, I just had something I was going to add to that, but now I lost it. Dang. I was like severe ADD. It'll come back. April, so April, if you guys don't know, April's #1 international money earner, Millionaires Club, Ambassador Diamond, like killing it. So I really want to ask you this question. If you could go back and, give yourself a piece of advice in terms of like growing your team when you first started, when you were nervous, what would you say?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So many of you probably don't know, I started and then I quit. And I sat there for 4 months. I didn't cancel my account, thank God. I don't know why, because I actually called in to cancel my account. And the customer service guy was like, well, you have a product credit. So I was like, well, I'll redeem it. And then I was worried that if I canceled my account, I wouldn't get my free products from my shopping spree, something like that. So I was like, well, I'll just leave it open. And then like this ambassador, I shouldn't be here, but sometimes things are just meant to be. So I sat there for 4 months and I watched this girl. This affected my story. I watched this girl go from distributor to double diamond, and that gave me confidence in the business because I sat there for 4 months and watched people that I knew, or I knew someone that knew them. So it's kind of like a personal connection, and I saw them succeed. So what I did was the question, what I would do differently, because I actually want to talk about what I did right. Is that okay? Yeah, okay. So what I did wrong was I quit. So the biggest thing I say to everybody, when you guys sign distributors, they're going to want to quit at a certain point in their business, and you've got to catch them at that moment. I wasn't close with my enroller. She did not catch me at my quitting moment. That's okay. It doesn't matter. She was newer too. But I've learned that everybody in this business wants to quit at a certain point, and if you have the connection with that person you enroll, you'll catch them. I actually tell them that, and the newest girl I enrolled is on here. I said, you're going to want to quit, whether it's at week 2, 3, 4. I don't know when that time is going to hit for you, but you need to tell me. Don't be embarrassed, but tell me, because we can probably work through it. Nobody told me not to quit. Nobody talked me through it, and I wasted 4 months in my business. So just a little side tip, and it's for everyone. All of my leaders, triple and above, wanted to quit, and they've told me why they didn't quit. And one of them was because I showed up at her house. Like Trisha Hefner wanted to quit. She's presidential now. I showed up at her house just to have a coffee date, and she said she couldn't quit face-to-face. Like she couldn't do it to me. And she's presidential, but I knew she was struggling. Sammy, I called her out on it too, and she's the triple. Anyways, So just be aware of that with your first lead role, because what's the point of going through all these Zooms to learn how to enroll a distributor just for them to go and quit because you didn't know that? Anyways, what I did do right when I jumped back in November, so 4 months later, was I ran. I was like, I can't fail twice. That would just be so damn embarrassing. So I ran. I mean, believe me, I blocked every family member I had just in case I failed a second time. But then I ran and I asked everybody. Like, somebody put my very first distributor canceled, so I was ready to quit again. And Drew's like, you can't quit a second time. I'm like, fine. I was devastated though. So then the next person I asked, it was a mom, and she commented on something in a mom's group that she didn't want to go back to work. And I said, you should work with me. And as I'm typing it, I'm thinking I shouldn't. I don't know what she'd even do with me. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I pressed it anyways. Feel that fear and do it anyway, and know that every single person out there who's where you want to be felt that way. Don't lie to yourself. Don't say, well, they just got lucky. No, that's not true. They felt that exact feeling that you have right now. And that is what it boils down to with distributors, right? It's doing the scary thing. It's asking the people you want on your team. So anyways, I went to coffee with this girl and I had no idea what to tell her, but I was just really excited. And that's something else I did right, was ignorance on fire. I was excited. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna succeed, but if I do, I'm really excited about that. And so then I made myself after that go blitzing downtown Victoria. I saw these two moms and I thought, and I did it because I was scared of doing it. I just knew in my head, and I've been following people for 4 months, so I now had all this good network marketing info in my head, right? And I just knew that you had to do the things that scared you. So I'm like, I'm gonna go blitzing because I want my team to go blitzing, my very small team. So I went to downtown Victoria and I saw these two moms who had like the perfect strollers and all the Lululemon outfit. And I was like, they're perfect, I should go talk to them. And I walked up to them and then I walked away and it was awkward. And they saw me do it. And Drew was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I didn't talk to them. Like, guys, I felt all those things you're feeling, that DT message you're hesitating on, that person you're not blitzing, but I did it anyway. And at the very end, I said, I'm not getting in that car unless I blitz someone. So I blitzed the barista in the very back corner of the coffee place, and she's giving me her coffee, and I was sweaty, and she knew it was awkward, but I gave her the freaking blitz card. And that's where your business grows, is when you do the things that scare you. So next time I went blitzing, I took a girl who's a lot louder than me. That made it so much easier. I did parties. Someone said, will you do a party for me? My new distributor. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And she drove me to the house and I thought we were gonna split it. And she got there and she's like, go ahead. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But you just have to do those things that scare you. And I did them because I was not willing to fail. I took quitting off the table. So those are the things I would do again. If I was to launch my business again, I would do all those things. I would ask everybody I asked. I would put it out there. Just like Jackie said, I did the post about paying for a bag of groceries at the grocery store, about gas at the gas station. My first check was $29, you know, and I think a year later it was $29,000. Like, those things that I did that scared me, thank God. Thank God I did them. So do the things that scare you and you will get there.
That was really good. Just reading the comments and the questions, or the questions in the chat. One thing I want to add, a lot of people are like, what's a blitz? What is this? And so I want to take 2 minutes and just touch on this. We just had our retreat, our Diamond and Above retreat, and we were so privileged to have Amber Parker there. And one of the things that she taught us while we were in Sun Peaks, Canada, which is like this little village, is man, like, you have these people in front of you, and you guys, as you're building your business on social media, and we are a very social media based team, when you're building on social, as you're growing your network in your cold market, it takes time for people to know you and like you and trust you through social media, through your posting, through your consistency, through you sharing your face. Like, it takes time for people to build that trust, to actually reach out and be interested in what you have a lot of the time. But at this retreat that we had, Amber showed us just how simple it was to walk up and blitz somebody. So I want to share this tip with you. As you're walking through the village, she literally would walk up to people if they were her server at a coffee shop, really anything. She would get in conversation with people, and she would say, "Hey, is this your only job?" And she would just like look at them. And you guys, a tip that she gave you was your eye contact is your contract. So as you are, talking to these people, and again, like a live video, the first one that you do is going to suck. The second one that you do is probably going to suck too. But as you keep doing it, like anything, you get better and better and better. And I watched her just be like, is this your only job? And she looked him in the eye, and she actually signed up the girl that she did that to. She literally, like, I watched this whole thing unfold. And so if you're serious about this business, a tip I'm going to give you is to go to Vistaprint. We have Blitz cards, so use these for sure. And what I do is I like to be very vague with what, I don't like to give all the information at once. And so I went to Vistaprint. I paid $30. That included paying an extra $10 for someone to design my card for me. I got 500 of them. And basically all it says on here is Jackie Deering, Life by Design, top income earner, social media business builder. And on the back, it has all the links, my phone number, my Instagram, my Facebook, and my email. And so as I talk to people, and I do this all the time now, I did one live in my team page the other day. I was like, watch this, and like hit it. And I just asked her, I'm like, is this your only job? And she was like, no, or whatever she said. I don't remember what she said. And I was like, hey, I don't know if this interests you, but if you're ever wanting to make an extra income and growing my team in your area, find me on Instagram. They always find you on Instagram. And by then they've already seen you face to face. So you've planted the seed. Now you're watering it. You guys will be shocked at how much quicker your business will grow by doing things like that. Okay. While we're in the comments, I'm going to go to the next question, but I just want to see how many in here in this Zoom enrolled in June, July, or August. Can you put a number 2 in the chat? Okay, Krista. So somebody comments on a post, a lifestyle post, votes on a poll. Can you walk me through how you're having a conversation, how you're explaining the business, if you're voice noting, if you have a text replacement, whatever you're doing, and then just kind of how a standard conversation would go?
Yeah, I can. Sorry. So if somebody's voting on my poll, I'm just messaging them back. Sorry, my internet just cut out there. Is it still working there? Oh. Okay. It's not working over here. That's fine. I was going to pull up my text replacement stuff for you. I'm like, I don't have it memorized. But basically, yeah. So what I'm doing actually is in my lifestyle posts, in my stories now, I constantly say text opportunity, and I put my phone number out there. So now I have people texting opportunity to me, and it's amazing. It's awesome because I don't get so much of the, oops, I accidentally didn't mean to click on your poll. I was just trying to slide the screen thing. But also, like, they're genuinely interested in what you do. And they're like, hey, it's so-and-so from Instagram. So the first thing I say is, like, when they text opportunity is like, hey, because you have no idea. They just texted opportunity. It's an unknown number, right? So you're like, hey, thanks so much for reaching out. What's your name? And, figure out who you're talking to. And then I'll say, okay, awesome. I'm so excited to tell you more. Let me send you a voice memo, and I'll send them a voice note. And basically I'm just sharing, I'll say, I don't know how much you know my story from following me on social media, but basically, and I tell them kind of like, here's my story, little snapshot. And if you don't have a big story, share your enroller story, a little bit of like the highlight points of what you saw. You say, I was following a girl on social media for, a few months, and this is what stuck out to me. I was broker than broke. I was having a hard time. My car broke down. I don't have a backup plan. And so this became like, I'm super thankful because now I can work this business from social media. So in a nutshell, here's what we do. We share these amazing health and wellness products with people through social media, and we share the business opportunity, and we just interact with people who are interested. Does that sound like something that you'd be interested in doing? And they're like, yeah, tell me more. Okay, right? So yeah, and it's interesting because the more you're posting in an attractional way rather than a Pinterest way, the more authentic and real. Like, I use my stories like crazy. And I'll use like I call them the occasional kind of Pinterest slide where it's like, here's some like a little bit of nuggets of info about something, or maybe 1 or 2 of those kind of slides. But the majority of the stuff that I'll do will either be me, like a video of me, even if it's just my hands, a video of my hands, or me in the morning making my coffee, because I make it every single day. You showing you using the products, but then also sharing my story consistently, because that's building the relationship, so that by the time that they're reaching out to me, then they already act like we're in the middle of a conversation, even though we've never even spoken. So like a lot of I on one of my slides, I just pulled one up here that I tell you, it said on it, message me for details. It was the end of my story. So it was one of the ones that I show, like Caitlin was mentioning, I share my kind of more detailed, here's my life story, kind of longer 18 slide one, at least once a week, the whole Krista story. The rest of the time it's, more smaller snapshots of my story. But I do business story every day, and it's very personal. But so then, like, I get people texting me or messaging me and saying, hey girl, please tell me more details. I love your stories. Like someone I hadn't even noticed yet, hadn't had a chance to notice yet that she was watching my stories, or I hadn't messaged her yet. And I messaged her back, hey, I'm so glad you're interested. What do you do for work right now? Right? So same kind of as the real life blitzing. It's just like, okay, what do you do for work right now? Tell me what you're doing. And she's like thanking me for adding her on Instagram. She's like, I'm glad you added me. I was a stay-at-home mom for my 22-month-old. We recently moved, blah, blah. It's just too expensive here. I respond and say, like, I totally hear you. Like, I am relating to you. I understand. Where I live is super expensive too, So you're creating that connection. And then I'm like, how much extra per month would help you right now? So again, I'm just kind of, keep moving the conversation. She's like, yes, please help me get started. 300 or 400 extra a month would be so helpful, and then that's where in this conversation, because it wasn't just like a blank slate, that's when I shared, this business has changed everything for me and my family. I'd love to help you. We basically just share on Facebook and Instagram. People order off our website. It ships directly to them, so no need to carry any inventory. It's super simple, and I'll walk with you every step of the way. We're an amazing team. We get you signed up on my website, and then I'll add you to our team page and get you started right away. That sounds great, right? Like, this is just like the flow. It's so simple. Can you tell me more how it actually works? She says, please and thank you. I love how she plays. I'm like, yes. I'm attracting politeness, and that's where I'd say, basically in a nutshell, we share the products, the business opportunity on social media. And so it's super simple. We provide all the training, all the material. So I'm letting her know she doesn't have to figure this all out, right? Everything you need, and our team is like one big family. I would love so much to help you. I know you'd be amazing at this because now I've peaked at her page, right? In my first 3 months, I hit the promotion of Diamond in our company, which earns an average of $2,000 a month. I can totally teach you how to do what I do. And then I just walk her through. It takes about 5 minutes to get signed up. Once you get everything submitted, I get you added. Okay, that's awesome. Text me the thing, and Bob's your uncle. So that's kind of the conversation that I'm using. And I know I just said Bob's your uncle. I'm so old, even though I look young. Oh! We're recording the Zoom, are we?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Just when Caitlin died, she's like, oh my gosh.
I wasn't going to say anything until you said Bob's your uncle.
I know. It's because I could be Caitlin's mother, okay? It's not my fault. It's fine.
Okay, a couple of things I want to touch on before we go to Caitlin here. Bob's your uncle. I'm never gonna let Krista live that down. She said Bob's your uncle on a Zoom. It's fine. Okay, it's fine. Okay. Couple of things that was so good I want you guys to take from that. Number one, she answers with she ends with a question. Does that interest you? Does that sound like something that you would need? What that's doing is that's keeping the conversation flowing. Less about scripts, more about being a real person. She's asking them questions. It's not about Krista sending a script. When you're going to build these relationships with potential distributors, it's all about, like, it's making it about them. They're not joining to help you go diamond. They're joining for their reasons. And so, oh, dang, someone's screen sharing. I don't know how to stop this. How do I stop this? April, don't put anything weird on there. No, it's not April, but I know it's just, don't put anything weird, please. I've had this happen before. There we go. I'm just joking. That's not the worst thing that's happened on this Zoom. Trust me. Okay. So, asking them questions, this is keeping that conversation going. Okay. I feel like when people start this business, they feel like, okay, I'm a rap girl. Like, I got to give them this. It's okay, April. You're good. I'm seeing it in the comments. You're good. But they're like, I got to like give all these scripts. Like, no, it really is just you talking to people, right? It's really just you finding out their needs. The next thing she said is she's answering common objections in her messages, explaining what we do. And so she's saying we have, we don't have to carry inventory. We're not required to do parties. We don't have to have, there's no contracts. Like she's opening doors for people to be like, oh, I thought that we were like, inventory. Like I thought we were going to have to buy all this inventory, but we don't. Like, so she's answering within her message common objections that people have. And then she's offering support at the end of that. So instead of just being like, let's get started, she's like, I'm going to be here to walk you through the support and training that you need. This has been a crazy Zoom so far. Like, what else are we going to do? But she's offering the support. And so I think one other thing I want you guys to hear from this is, remember how you felt when you were new. You were nervous, you were scared. And so from somebody saying like, here, I'm going to help you every step of the way, that's taking that down. And then she's giving them a plan of action. Once you get started, I'm going to bring you into my team page. We're going to get you started. I'm going to help you do this. Like she's answering the objection. She's offering the support, and she's making a plan. Big. Okay. And sorry, I was going to say, before we go to Kellan, I was going to say one thing as we scroll up. I'm going to answer these questions as we go in the chats. And as I respond to these, I'm not saying this directly to you. Thank you for being brave enough to put this in the chat, because I know you're not the only person thinking this. But when you guys say like, oh, I'm messaging people and they're not answering, or people are voting and they're not getting it, let me just say this. The person that hits the most home runs strikes out the most. Stephanie Dunn has heard the most no's, okay? No's are good. No's means you're working. People not answering you is normal. I told some chick I wasn't going to enroll for 3 years, and now here we are. You just got to be ready to plant those seeds, and it's not on your time, it's on theirs, okay? Okay, Caitlin, can you talk about, let's say someone is, okay, so you've walked them through what Krista just said. You've explained what the business is, and they say, okay, I'm interested. Can you take that conversation from there to how you're sealing the deal?
Yeah. So I think Krista mentioned asking them like how much money they need to make, but that's like the biggest part of the conversation for me is I say to them, how much money would you need to make to be less stressed financially? And once they give you a goal, then I ask them, okay, how much time are you willing to put into it? Like how much work are you willing to do? And then I kind of just like gauge where they're at. Like if it matches up, I'll be like, okay, that's actually perfect. And I just talk about like how we have one of the top earning teams and like how I would be working with them and helping them. But I am so honest with my potentials. If somebody tells me that their goal is like $5,000 a month, but then when I ask them how much time they're going to put into it, they say, well, I'll put in like when I have a few minutes here and there, like I'll do what I can, like they're not actually committed. I tell them, okay, like we can 100% hit that money goal for you. Like we can make it happen, but you need to be serious about it. And like, this is what you need to do. You need to put this much time into it. And like, it's not so much that there's like a set hour of time that they need to, but I just kind of like gauge if their goals match up with how much effort they're willing to put in. And I'm just so honest with them. Like if it matches up, like perfect, I'll go right into explaining like how much help they're going to get. But if it doesn't match up, I will not sign them up with them having the intentions of making thousands a month without doing anything, right? Like I'm telling them, okay, like we can do this. Like there's no goal that's ever too big. I'll never tell somebody, oh, that's too much. Like you can never make that. Like there's no goal that's too high. But if they're not willing to put the work in to hit that high goal, I will tell them that it's going to take more than what they're telling me they're willing to do. And so I just tell them like, I will work with you one-on-one. I will help you. Like we have all the resources you need, but you do have to work this like a business to be paid like a business owner. Because if you're going to sign them with them thinking they're going to make tons of money and not do anything, then they're probably not going to work their business anyways, right? Like it's not worth signing a distributor for them to have crazy expectations that aren't going to happen. You want to sign somebody who wants to make that $5,000 a month, but they're willing to work the business and do what they need to do to get there. And so that's how I finish sealing the deal. And when it matches up, I just tell them, be like, okay, like, do you want to get started right now? And let's just do this. And I kind of like play their goals back to them and just be like, awesome. Okay, so this was your goal. Do you want to just like run with it? Let's just make this happen. And when they're ready, then we do it. And if they have to wait, if they say they can't right now, I ask for a specific day. Like, okay, when is payday? Like, I'll save your spot. We'll get you signed up on that day and we'll go with it from there. And I'll make sure to keep following up. Like, I understand, obviously they're not always going to sign up when you're talking to them. But put like I forget the word, but like act like there is like a timeline to it, you know, like I'm never going to be like
Urgency.
that's the word. Put urgency on it. Be like, okay, well, as soon as you are ready, like let's do it as fast as you possibly can. Like I'll give them ideas, like, can you put it on a credit card? Do you have a savings account? Do you have somebody that can help you? Do you have things lying around the house you can sell? Like I'll tell them the story of how I put it on my credit card and paid it off the first month. Like give them options, but tell them that like the longer you wait, like I'm helping people now. Do you want to be one of those people or not?
That was
Hopefully
really
that okay.
Okay, couple things I want to just add on. I wrote some notes here. First of all, if ADD forgot to talk about this, everyone that said 2 in the comments before enrolling in June, July, or August, I want you guys to understand, if you don't already know, you guys qualify for a $10,000 bonus if you hit the rank of diamond in 4 full calendar months. So you enroll June 15th. That is not a full calendar month. July 1st, June, July, August, September, October, I don't know, okay? Whatever 4 full calendar months is, if you enroll in August, you have to the end of December. Do not run for that, okay? 10 grand, you know, cash, no card bonuses, or let's pay you in parties at the park making soap, like that's 10 grand, okay? Average of $2,500 a month, first thing. Second thing, I want you guys to have confidence when you're speaking to people. Very early on, you know, in my business, I had nobody asking how much money I was making because I was posting like I was making diamond money. Not that I was lying. Don't ever lie, but be confident in where you're going. And when you're confident, nobody's going to ask you how much you make. And if they do, and you haven't made anything, you're going to say, sorry, these are random notes that I just jotted down before we go to the next question. I want you guys to say, I've just started, I'm brand new, but in the next 2 months, I'm going ruby. In the next month, I'm going diamond. Whatever your goal is, project it. I promise you, none of these people are going to be like, let's just add that in the cap. Yeah, no, you never hit it. They're going to watch you. And when you hit it, because you will, that's what brings them to you. Like I went diamond in 3 months. For that 3 months, I was saying, I'm going diamond next month. Didn't hit it. I'm going diamond next month. Didn't hit it. I'm going to go diamond next month. Never hit it. For 3rd full calendar month, I was going diamond. People stopped asking me at month 1 because I talked about it so much in my posting. I projected it that nobody even needed to ask me because I was like, this is where I'm going. Come to me. Like, that's where I'm going. You know what I mean? Next thing, setting the expectation, something that Caitlin said, I love this. You guys, we cannot hide from people what it takes to be successful. Don't hide it from your potentials. Don't hide it from your team. And so a way I love to say this is when I'm talking to people and I'm, you know, kind of going over exactly what Krista and Kaylin just talked on, I say, this is what I say to them. Here's the fine print. This is the fine print. If you want to be successful, you have to work. This is a daily business. I'm going to teach you how to work this business in small increments of your day. You don't have to sit down for 8 hours. You know what I mean? Like, this is the fine print. You want to go ruby? You're going to work. If you're going to show up, I'm going to coach you. You know, like, you like give them that expectation. And so the people that aren't ready to do that will weed themselves out. But what I'm finding is people that are sticking around, they know the hustle and they're ready to match. On top of that, wherever you're at in your business, never tell somebody to do something that you're not willing to do. Your team is going to do 1/3 of what you do. Okay? So you want your team to go diamond in 3 months, you better be building a diamond. You know what I mean? Like, work as if you're building a diamond. We are not in the business of managing. We are in the business of inspiring. So when you can keep that kind of at your forefront, it's going to allow you to guide your team so much easier. Okay, April. So somebody, you know, has talked to you about the business before. You know, they've felt maybe you've had conversations back and forth. Can you touch on how you're following up?
Yeah, so how I follow up, one of the ways I do it is I do get them to host a post. So that is the perfect question because it actually goes back to somebody who said, what do you say when someone says they don't understand the business? Easy way to break it down other than message post. So I wanted to answer that question, but this also ties into the answer. So the answer to that question, Amanda, is something Stephanie Dunn does when it's just so complicated and they're like, I just don't get it. Stephanie Dunn will say, hey, I'm just going to send you a small post. Do you want to just throw it up on your wall? And she sends them a really pretty, like, Instagram-worthy photo and a tiny little sentence that basically says, anyone looking to grow their hair out. This potential distributor goes and posts that on their wall. One, Stephanie now has a host a post up if they don't purchase. But two, she just showed them how simple the business is. She doesn't even have to explain the business anymore. She says to them, see, I don't know exactly what she says to them, but she says to them something along the lines of, see, that's all I do. I just ask people to put a post up, or I share stuff on Facebook. And all their walls kind of go down, right? They're like, oh, I can do that. So that's the answer to that question. But what was how do I follow up? I get them to host a post. And for the same reason, because it shows them that they can do the business. Because what's going to happen is they're going to put a post on their wall. One, they might be interested in the products because now I'm getting them to post about this really cool cleanse or this skinny coffee. Or maybe people will comment, or they'll just see how easy it is to post on social media, and that's not a big deal. So I do get my potentials to host a post for me. I follow up with them. I really like how one of the network marketer coaches does it. He says he acts like like you're not desperate, right? You have good posture in your business. So he goes and says, hey, sorry, I've been so busy. I haven't been able to follow up with you. How's your day going? And the whole point of that follow-up is just to get them talking to you. If you follow up with them and, hey, do you still want to join, blah, 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 they're never going to answer your message. So just have good posture in your business. You're not desperate. You obviously have 500 other people to talk to right now, even if you don't, even if they are your one potential. Don't be desperate because you won't sign anybody. And the other thing I do as far as following up for distributors, guys, I don't follow up with the same ones all the time. That's the biggest mistake new distributors make, is they tell me, my team will tell me this, my new distributors, I have 3 potential distributors. And then we get on a call the next week and they still have 3 potential distributors, and they still have the same 3 potential distributors. I have hundreds lists all over my office, all over in my drawers, and I'm not organized, but they are always changing. So I can go and grab them at any time and do a massive follow-up for month end, which sometimes I do. But my hundreds list doesn't look the same month to month. It doesn't even look the same week to week, especially if I'm going for a massive promotion. So for follow-up, just one tip I have is make sure you're not following up with the same people all the time. Grow that. A really awesome goal that will grow your business is that before you go to bed at night, you need to have 10 new people on your hundreds list. You'll find ways to find 10 new people, whether it's someone who voted on your story. You're like, okay, they're following me, write them down. Someone who has like your last 10 photos. You're like, there might be a warm market, even though they won't admit it. Write them down. Find 10 new names to put on your list, because one thing's true. If you write them down, they're going to start signing because there's power in that. And I know this isn't your question, but I want to say one more thing. This is something else I do for signing distributors. So this says Dream Distributor. This is something that I did right before having Mac, and I signed about 6 distributors, and then I went on my mat leave, my first one in 5 years, so no judging. But so I signed a bunch of distributors, and I have a bunch of people to follow up with from my DT host post. But I watched a video from Denise Walsh that's about 2 minutes long, and I can find it for you. But she said you need to write down what you want, because you can have all of these tools and all of these skills, but if you don't know what you want, you're going to have the confidence to pursue it, basically, if you do know what you want. So I wrote down Dream Distributor. She's like, draw a picture of a person, even if it's a stick figure. Draw a picture of a person. And I did, and I wrote down what I wanted them to have and who I wanted them to be, and then I went and signed a bunch of distributors. It really does work. So that's another tip for signing them. Okay, I'm going to stop.
No, that was really good. Marisa, same question. So you have people that you've talked to before, they're not ready to sign. Can you talk about that?
You guys, I'm a big voice flipper, but just like April said, I also consistently, I'm gonna pull this. I have a consistent hundreds list with me all the time. You guys, like all the time. And even whenever I'm out and about, I keep one in my purse, because there's even times that like I am just in town, or if I'm, at a friend's birthday party and I'm talking to somebody about the conversation, and learning this just in even whenever I went to Canada, Amber Parker did confirm this for me, and I'm like, yes, girl, when she said that your eye contact is your contract, right? And so a lot of times we're on our phones, like, at parties or, just social gatherings. And the thing is like, there's a warm market right in front of you.
We have your milk right here. Milk.
Oh. There you go. Okay. You're like, there's a warm market right in front of you. You know what I mean? There's already somebody in front of you having a conversation with you that may or may not be on your Instagram. I meet friends of friends all the time. And I get to the car and I'm like, okay, and I jot it down. I keep a hundreds list in my glove box and I jot their name down. So I'm like, I got to remember that person. I put them on my Instagram, or I put them on my Facebook. I got to remember that person. And I'll put a little clip it like on the side of like, dog mom, she has a Yorkie and, you know, whatever. And so I remember. So when I pick up conversation with them again, I am creating that conversation like like that relationship was already built. You know what I mean? Like they're familiar with me. They're comfortable with me. But when I follow up, I'm following up on my hundreds list. I'm following up in my messenger, guys. I'm constantly in my messenger searching certain words. Even like people like think. When you look at words up in Messenger, I know like sometimes like we look up like 99 or we look up $9.99 or $20 to follow up with those people that we've talked about with so many different like promotions that have gone on. But one word that I think that we never think about looking up is think. So many people say, think. I'm going to think about it. Oh, let me talk to my boyfriend. I'm going to think about it. Oh, you know, I've thought about that for a long time. I just don't think I would be good at it. Think is a word that's used so many times. I don't think I have enough people that would buy from me. So whenever people are talking about their fears, they usually use the word think. And so there's times, I mean, you know, oh my gosh, I'm like, I know why you guys gush over April now. I'm like an April fan right now. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so great, taking tons of notes. I hope you guys are taking tons of notes for these leaders because they're all fire. But yeah, you like, what was I saying? I'm like, oh, when she was saying that she jots those kind of things down, guys, like that's a big deal. Like you gotta look that stuff up. She's been in a while, right? Jackie's been in a while. Like you've been in a couple of years. When you look back, Caitlin, I mean, Krista, anybody, everybody, right? If you've been in a couple of years, there's people that you might have forgotten about, and that's okay because you're working your business. If you're doing host to post, your messenger's blowing up. If you're messaging, your messenger's blowing up. If you're following up with people that are voting on your polls or viewing your story, your messenger's blowing up. There's going to be people that you have lost contact with over the years. And when you search certain words in your messenger, those people from a year ago or 2 years ago or whatever the case may be, those people are going to pop back up. So you gotta just sit down and have a quiet moment and think, like, when I've had conversations with people, what have they told me? They use the word think. I don't think I would be good at this. I don't think my husband would like for me to do this. I don't think. So when they talk about fears, what words are they using in your conversations? That's just one of the words that goes underlooked for me. Look it up in your messenger and you're going to find so many people in your messenger that you might have missed following up with.
Dang, that was good. And you guys, if you don't know how to search your messenger, I'm just going to give you a tip. You can do this from your phone or your computer. So from your phone, it's really the same thing. We're just going to go over it really quickly. So just how she said the word think, for me, like you can do this with customers and distributors. So if you know you're talking about the cleanse a lot, or your host posting about the cleanse, or hair, skin, nails, TFX, you know, literally just think of keywords. Think business, $99. Skin, hair, you know, hair, wraps, weight loss. You can go into your messenger. At the top, it's going to say search, and then you can search a keyword. So let's say I type in the word cleanse. What it's going to do is bring up every account that has the word cleanse. So it's going to say cleanse king, all these random things. And at the very top, it's going to say search and messages. This is every single person I've ever said the word cleanse to. So if you're pushing for a promotion, if you're pushing for distributors, go take an hour, search all your messages with these keywords, and then write a list down, and that's your follow-up. Example of a follow-up. Thanks, Ed. Example of a follow-up.
You can do it on text messages. For Android and iPhone, you can do it in text message. So if you are putting opportunity, text opportunity to this phone number, text opportunity to, you know, here, you can do it with your text messages too, guys. It's not just limited to Messenger. So if you're like, man, I always say like text opportunity, I do that too. That's one thing that I always give an action at the end of my post, right? Like text, you know, text hair, text mermaid, you know, I'm always giving an action at the end of a post, right? And so if you have text messages, you know, from that date back however long ago, and you've had your phone, you can search it in your text messages too. It's not just limited to Messenger.
Can I
Okay.
1 second? I was just gonna say, when I do host a post for DTs, instead of, because all my lifestyle posts, all my stories, I say text opportunity. So when I do HAPs for DTs, I say text info, so that there's a different keyword. And that way I know they don't necessarily know my backstory. They haven't been watching me on social media. They've just seen on a friend's post that says randomly, like, text this number if you're interested in working off social media. So now I can be like, oh, hey, you want some info about working off your phone? Awesome. What's your name? Let me find you on Facebook and add you. And then, and then you pop back into the conversation and can be like relating to them after you've like peeked at their page and be like, okay. So it just gives you just a different word, just so you kind of know that you're not having the exact same kind of conversation. And the other thing, if you guys have this book, Never Split the Difference. Personal development is like so important for signing distributors. Like, I think Chad Kneller was in here. He said something about confidence, of having that 100s list, but a confidence that comes from, growing your mindset daily is huge. And confidence is the game changer for signing distributors, you guys. And this book is gold. It's about negotiating, actually. Negotiating is if your life depends on it. But one of the things I learned from in here, this guy was a former FBI top hostage negotiator, so he's got some good tools for like getting stuff done. But getting people to be able to mirror back to them, when they're using the word, Marisa, this is what made me think of it, because you were saying like they will tell you, I think blah blah blah, and that's like, think is like sharing, like, actually it's a safe way of sharing your feelings, because it's trying to be like more analytical and be like, I think this, right? So basically, using that tool to mirror back to them what you're kind of hearing them express as their feelings. And the goal isn't for them to say, yes or no to you. The goal is for them to say, that's right, like, you heard me. And then like all their defenses come down when they can say, that's right, you heard me. Right? And now you're having a totally different conversation. So anyways, I just thought I should share that. It's such a good nugget.
Okay, can you guys drop a 3 if you're fired up from this? Because I got a page and a half full of notes. Okay, Courtney, can you talk on how important consistency is when you're enrolling distributors? So when I mean consistency, you guys, I mean consistency on social media, if you're building your business on social media.
Yeah, so for me, how I learned that consistency was even important to begin with that's what got me to join you. So I'm super yellow, and I was really, really scared, and seeing you being consistent made me feel, even before I joined, safe that I was even thinking of joining the business with you, because I knew you were doing this every single day. And if I joined, I knew you were going to be there to hold my hand however long I need that, and support me and check in with me, because I saw you doing that. So that's my perspective. So I go, okay, well, I need to not only let the world know that my store is open and put, that out there, but also I need them to know that, hey, if you're going to join my team, I got you. Like, I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to like literally hold your hand and just be consistent with supporting you. And, when you're starting up, or forever, but for me, that's my kind of take on consistency. But then also the more obvious is, you just have to put it out there and be consistent with the opportunity. And like Caitlin said, she's with your story, if you don't have that present in either, your stories or a few of your posts, no one's going to know that. No one's going to know, trust, and like you, and even take that chance with you and take that risk, because it's super scary. So for me, I needed to be reassured that you were going to be consistent with me in my training and not just leave me hanging, like I know happens sometimes.
That's so crazy you say that. I'm just going to answer that too before we go into Caitlin. That was literally me too. I told the person that enrolled me for 3 years that I was not interested. So keep that in mind. No is just not right now. Like, it's so crazy to think about all the times that I was like, I'm not interested, but she just kept working her business. And it wasn't until my situation changed that I came to her because of her consistency. I wasn't going to my other friends that were doing this business. I was going to the person who I didn't know that shared her story every day, regardless of what I did to her business. That's why I feel like I understood consistency really early on too, is because we were that person. Caitlin, can you just talk about that from your point of view too, like what consistency, or how important consistency is to enrolling distributors in social media?
Yeah, for sure. So the way I look at it is like, you have to be consistent no matter what, because I tell myself if there's a day where I'm like, well, I don't feel like posting, like I don't know what to post, like I just tell myself, okay, so what if these people that I've been talking to up until today, I choose not to post today, but somebody else does post today. Now somebody that I've worked super hard to sign up with, I did all the work, but now they're going to go sign up with somebody else just because I didn't want to take 30 seconds to put up a thoughtful post, So you just have to really look at it as like, once you stay consistent, like you have to keep going because you've put all this effort in, you've put all this work in, and all of a sudden you stop just because you're not feeling it someday. Somebody else could like put up one crazy post just like for one, maybe they're not consistent at all, but they put it up on the right day at the right time, and this person that you've done all the work for is going to go sign up with them because you didn't work your business that day. So you will never catch me not working my business because that's just how I look at it. It's like, what if there's somebody that's ready today and I'm choosing not to do it, So, yeah, for me, I kind of had a different story starting. Like I didn't watch for a long time. I literally jumped in, but I learned right away like how to do it because I just like was copying the right people. And like, you can tell like Jackie never takes a day off. Like these people that are killing it are consistent every single day. So I noticed right away, like if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this every single day. And I have stuck with it since the day that I joined. And that really is how you get to the top of the company, is by doing it every single day. Even if you're busy, even if it's like there's things going on, like what I do is if I'm ever seeing on Facebook somebody else's post that's like a really good lifestyle post, I'll save it because you can make like collections, I think they're called. I have one called posts, and like I will always change it up like into my own story. But if there's like a theme of one or like a layout of one that I really like, and there's a day where like I'm just like having a mind block and like I want to work but I just like don't know what to do, I'll go into that collection where I have all these options like saved up because I'm like saving them every time I see them, and I'll just tweak one and boom, there you go. You have a really good post still, but it's still my story. Like you have to change it to be your own. Don't copy and paste somebody else's story. But that's definitely something I recommend doing for those days where maybe you don't really feel like working, but you have to do it anyways, right? So have those options so that I still posted that day. Like you will never see a day where I didn't post some sort of lifestyle post every single day.
I love that. And one thing I want to touch on really quick before we go on to the next question, we're gonna wrap this up by 6:30, guys. I know this is taking a little longer than our normal Zooms. I like to wrap them up in an hour, but there's just so much good information here that I feel like people can learn from. So whenever Caitlin says, you've never seen, Jack take a day off, and I know I can speak for every leader on here when we say that, remember that you're looking at a highlight reel. So whenever you look at my social media, or April's, or Courtney's, or Caitlin's, or Marisa's, or Krista's, you see the positive. You literally see us pushing aside the mess in our house. I can't speak for your guys' house, but you push aside whatever's going on to take your picture on social media. That is really the iceberg effect. You see what we want you to see, but what you don't see is the struggles that we've also gone through to actually have to wake up to be consistent. So what I mean by that is, you guys, I promoted to double diamond in 5 months, lost rank for 4 months after that. Like I lost rank to diamond. I wasn't focused on that. I'm not ashamed by it because it's part of this. But what I'm saying is I didn't let that current situation define my actions and my work. And because I was consistent through the times when it wasn't easy, it allowed me to actually enroll Caitlin. Like that's what's so crazy about this is, I had gone through this really hard time in my business. I promoted to diamond 3 months, 4 months, double, dropped into diamond for 4 months. And because I was consistent, even when it was sucking and everything was falling apart, that consistency brought Caitlin randomly on Instagram, who changed my business. So there's other Caitlins out there. Just don't pick my Caitlin, okay? Okay, April, how are you starting new DTs?
Sorry, of course, that's right when my hubby walks in. How am I starting new distributors? So I try to keep it really simple. I think that's the key. I heard a Zoom by Casey Brookover. She just did one, and I really like what she said too, how she tells them the few things we do for business, and that's it. She doesn't overcomplicate it. But basically how I start them is I have an album in my team page, and I just tag them in it, and the album is a very short welcome video. You don't want a 30-minute, maybe 30, that's a little long. You definitely don't want an hour launch video. You're going to overwhelm them. I just say welcome. I quickly explain how to log into eSuite, tell them to, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in this team page. It's for everybody. I think it's 5 minutes long. And then the next, it's a little album, and there's 5 steps, and it's called How to Launch Your Distributors in 2 Days with 5 Easy Steps. Or How to Launch Your Business, in 2 days with 5 easy steps. The first step is watch the video. So they feel like they're done their first step immediately in 5 minutes, and there's a friendly face. The second one is I give them a post idea, and it's about, I always choose a really popular product. And the post is kind of like a hat style post where it's just, I'm wanting some people to try this, right? It's really easy wording. It's not spammy, really pretty photo. So I have 5 little steps, and once they're done that, then we go on to something else. That's it.
Okay, I love that. So really, you guys take from that, we keep it simple. Don't put your new DTs in 100 things. Walk them through the first steps. And we have the same system in our page. So it's literally like the first steps, how to get through eSuite. And you guys, honestly, I'll give you just my little tidbit on this is I was coached on how to start my new DTs, and I have 5 videos on my YouTube that says step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Watch those, remake your own. Don't use mine. You can, but don't use mine. Remake your own. Your team wants to see you, So just to give you an idea. Now, you guys, I want to go through our last question for each of you guys here. I want us to maybe take 2 to 3 minutes each to answer this last question before we wrap it up. Let's start with Krista. If you could give just one piece of advice to, the people that are listening on this Zoom, just to close out, what would you say?
One piece of advice, actually, one of the best pieces of advice I have for signing distributors is know who you want, and write down those attributes. So literally that list that says you want driven, honest, hopeful, people full of integrity, people who love to connect, people who are inspiring, that take action, people that love people, people that are fun to be around. Write your list, write your dream team list, and then become that person. That is, you write down who you want to see and then become that person. Do the work to become that person, because I guarantee suddenly, miraculously, amazingly, your team will be full of those amazing people. Because like flocks to like, you guys, you're going to be attracting those people because you're driven. You're showing people that you're hardworking. You're full of hope, so that you're sharing hope, and people that are hopeful are drawn to you. You're showing that you have integrity because of the way that you're sharing about these products. You're showing, the things that you're putting out there. Those actions are going to bring you what you're looking for. If you're putting out there that you're looking for somebody who wants to sit on their couch, who wants to put in 5 minutes of work and make $5,000 a month, then guess what you're going to get, right? That's what, and I just want to say that I feel like a little bit, almost we all start there. And so I want to encourage you, growing your mindset, personal development is 80% of the work of signing distributors, you guys. Personal development, we could do a whole other Zoom about that, but it is so, so important. It's the key. It is the key to becoming those attributes that you so desperately would love to see on your team. Those people who are runners, the people who love to lead, who are fantastic, amazing, gifted people. It's because those people aren't lucky and accidental and they just woke up that way. They're the people who put in the work and the development to become those people. So you need to become one of those people to bring those people in. And the cool thing is that along that journey, as you're growing to become that person, each layer of people that you bring along with you is a layer progressed in that. But then also it's so inspiring and exciting because now they're becoming with you. And it's this amazing aha journey where you're literally linking arms with people and being hey, oh my gosh, yeah, we're all reading this book together, and isn't it amazing? And oh my gosh, this is how it's changing me. And this is what, did you know? I never even noticed this about myself before. And now you're linking arms and you're just spreading that joy and that hope and that everything out there exponentially through your social media and all those conversations, all those meaningful conversations you're having. And that's, yeah, so that'd be my biggest tip.
I love that. I love that. Caitlin.
Okay, so what I would pick as advice is, it was kind of talked about before, but going more into detail, like talking about where you're going, because so many new distributors, they come into this and they're like, well, I don't want to lie. I don't want to like make up stories. I'm not going to tell people I'm making money, but that's not what it is. You need to come into this and say, you just be so confident in yourself and say, I am going Ruby. I am going to make that $500 a month, because how it works is by you saying that, now people, they're like, holy crap, like this girl's making $500 a month already. Like, you just say that, like, that's where you're going, and people will jump in on it because you're talking about that. And suddenly from you posting about that, now you have somebody who's interested. Now you have 2 people, 3 people, all of a sudden your team is growing. Okay, now you are making $500 a month. So now I'm going to push my goal to be $1,000 a month. So now you're going to post about, be like, I am so excited. Like, I'm almost averaging $1,000 a month. I am almost going diamond. I am almost earning this $10,000 bonus. Like, I will earn this bonus. Like, even if you just joined and like you haven't made a big paycheck yet, tell yourself, I am going to do this. I am going diamond. And so many people will see that. And from you talking about it, people jump in, and that is how those goals happen. It's not you lying to people. Like, don't say you did make a $10,000 bonus if you didn't, but talk about that you're going to. Like, people need to see that. And if you're not talking about that, that's when you're not going to sign distributors, because you're not putting those goals out there, right? So it's kind of like faking it till you make it, but I don't even like the word faking it, because it's not faking it. Like, you telling yourself you're going to get there is what gets you there 100%. And if you're not telling yourself that, that's what you're missing out on. You just need to be so confident and so sure of yourself that you're going to do it. And when you are that sure of yourself doing it, other people will see it and they jump in, and that is how it will happen.
So good. Maritha. I think we're both trying to unmute each other at the same time.
There I go. Oh, yeah. I'm like, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? And it's so funny, because I'm sitting here thinking, when you asked Krista, right? And I'm sitting here thinking about it. And you guys, I don't want to be that person that like piggybacks off of Caitlin, but y'all, we just had our diamond retreat this weekend for my team. And we had 9 people there, and I'm talking to them, and we're having these conversations. And one of the things that kept coming up is signing distributors, right? And growing your team. And the biggest thing for so many people, and I know that, when Caitlin said it, I'm like, I was thinking like, oh, I'm going to say like, well, if I have people going through it, I know you guys do, right? And then she said it, and I'm like, boom. But guys, it's so true. Like, I've had distributors tell me, I feel like I'm lying on social media. And I'm like, what do you mean you feel like you're lying on social media? I'm like, well, I'm saying, like, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are you pumping gas? Like, are you getting gas? Guys, there are so many things that you can share that this business is doing for you. My first check was like $47, y'all. And actually it was my second check, because I made less than $15 my first check. So I didn't even get my first check. It had to roll over into my next paycheck. Guys, I'm telling you, like, what does that $47 do for you, right? Like, it is doing, and even if it's not, like, even if you feel like, man, I haven't made like even $100 or $200 or $500 or $1,000 or whatever, it has done something. Maybe take the time and like write it down on a piece of paper, and like take the time to like meditate on it and like actually think about it quietly. If that means getting up an hour before your kids are going to sleep an hour and a half after your kids are, asleep or whatever, take that quiet time and like make a list of what this business has done for you. What has it done for you? Have you grown friendships? Have you gotten a little bit more confident? Has it given you a reason? And digging deep with my team this past week, like, you guys, this past weekend, like, this business gives people a reason to wake up every morning. You guys, like, we have our hands on something so amazing, and it's not just financially, it's spiritually, it's emotionally, it's you know, and friendship wise. I mean, it's so insane, you guys. Like, it's so insane. And so take a moment and like write down and then put that into words. And again, knowing where you're going. You know, all my, you know, I do these gifts for necklaces, and it's, you know, I read this book called Rhinoceros Success by Scott Alexander. And so if you ever see me, like if you ever know anything about me, you know I'm all about rhinos. I mean, there's literally rhinos everywhere in this room. You're going to see a rhino somewhere, right? Everywhere. I have a tattoo of a rhino. Like, it's just insane. But when I am like looking at these rhinos, I'm just like, this is like tough, like thick skin, right? Thick skin, and you charge. There's always going to be torpedoes. There's always going to be these things that are going to be charging after you. And on my diamonds necklace, every single one of them has a necklace that says decide and charge, because it literally starts with a decision. It's literally one decision to charge after your dreams. There's going to be things that are coming at you. There's going to be things that are trying to pierce you, trying to take you down, and whatever it is, you're a rhinoceros and you're charging after it. You are full speed ahead, and you know where your target's at, you know where you're going, and you're telling everybody around you. And if it takes you a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, everybody's knowing where you're going. Everybody. And now not only is that speaking it into existence because you're putting it out there in the universe, but you're also telling people, like, this is, you're attracting. And so there's so many people that are like, teach me what attraction marketing is. That's what it is. Attraction marketing is not like, join my It Works team today. It Works has done this for me. Boom, and that's it. Like, two-liner there, right? It's telling your story, telling people, getting on that emotional level with them, because for them to decide to do something, for them to decide to take this leap of faith with you, emotion causes motion. And for them to take that step, it's going to take emotion for them. It's going to take emotion to hit submit. It's going to take emotion for them to tell their husband, hey boy, I'm doing this. Sorry. It's going to take emotion. And if they are not, if they're not making the decision emotionally to start this business, they're never going to do it. They're never going to take that jump. Your story, you're sharing your story, and it's hitting them somewhere, and it's giving them an emotion. Whether it's, you got gas, you're pumping gas at the gas station, right? You're pumping gas and you're like, man, they're like, I can't even, you guys, in 2011, I wish somebody would have told me about this business. I got turned down in 2011 at a Shell gas station because I didn't have a full $1. I was a dime short. I was 10 cents short. And I was in a town where they didn't really like Hispanics. They were like, is this chick? No. So there was literally like this guy behind me that was like, I'm not giving her a dime. She would need a dime. Like, that's literally the attitude in it. Guys, I had to walk. Like, I didn't have a dime. I had to walk to work and leave my car there. In 2011, I wish somebody would have posted a picture on Facebook pumping gas. So I would have been like, that emotion would have been tugged on me. And it would have caused me to act. It would have caused me to move. And I would have done anything to find that $100 to sign up for this business in 2011. And don't be scared to put your goal out there. You guys, so many of us, and I know because I like to watch her too. How many of you guys watch Cheyenne Knox? Everybody watches Cheyenne Knox, right? We all know, right? Guys, she put her ambassador goal out there, and we all know, because we all watch her, she didn't hit it, right? That time. She's like, look, she went live and was like, I didn't hit my goal, but let's talk about my team and what they achieved and what's going on here. If you're scared to put your goal out there because you're scared you're not going to hit it, and you're like, oh man, I'm an executive going after Ruby, and what if I don't hit it? Guys, even top earners are putting their goals out there, and maybe they come up short. So when you think you're not good enough to put your goal out there, Cheyenne Knox did it, and you're sitting here gushing over her, right? I mean, we all do it. I gush over Stephanie Dunn. I'm gushing all over her. I'm gushing over April right now. You think April hasn't missed a goal? Yes, it happens. But how many people did you inspire during that time? Put it out there. Put it out there. Okay, that's all.
Dude, I'm like your biggest hype man. The whole time you were speaking, I'm like, yes! All right, Court.
So I have to follow that? Okay, great. Great, thanks. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep it simple. So I'm a teacher, and my one piece of advice to everybody was drilled into my brain in teacher training, and it's self-reflection, self-improvement, edit your life. If you are not learning, you're dead, okay? You need to keep learning. Anytime that I have a spike in DTs or LCs, guess what I'm doing that day or that week? I am listening to something when I'm in the shower. I am listening to something when I'm on that treadmill. I am listening to something on my commute. I am just trying to learn all the things. So my piece of advice would be to constantly reflect, constantly edit, and just learn as many things as you can. Being on the Zoom, for example, like you just want to constantly use YouTube, use Google, use your upline, use your leaders. Like Krista said, write down the leader that you need and then become that and do everything you need to do in order to become that person that you need, or write down your DT that you want, your dream DT. So for me as a teacher, lifelong learner, we encourage that to our students. We encourage that to our teachers. You just constantly have to be tweaking and editing your approach until you get that right. And then guess what? You do it again. So that would be probably my word of advice. I'll keep it short because I feel like I just bow down to the rest of the leaders in this group. That's my piece of advice. I'll keep it short and sweet. And then also take quitting off the table, and then just constantly be doing self-development.
I'm so fired up from this. It's like making me emotional almost. Like, okay, April, let's wrap it up.
Okay, you guys, those are awesome. I don't know if Mac's gonna be quiet or not, so I'm gonna keep mine short too. But you know what? There's a lot of newbies on here tonight, and I think a lot of you, first off, welcome. We're so proud of you just for hopping on. That's a really big deal. You're stepping up for your business, and your business is gonna notice. So I think a lot of you look at us in this leadership space and think, I wish I was there, what I wouldn't give to just be there. But you know what? You guys are in a really cool space in your business. Don't waste it. You're in that space where you can sell just on excitement. You are just so excited about where you're going, and your excitement alone can create FOMO on your entire Instagram and Facebook page. I had people sign up with me the second time when I didn't quit, just because I was so excited. I had people signing up with me who didn't even need the money. They were just worried they were going to miss out because I was starting something new, and I went from only posting on Facebook to show my mom pictures of my kids because we live really far because Drew was deployed, not deployed, he got posted far away. So I only posted for that, to posting all the time because I was so excited about life. I was so excited, like Caitlin said, about where I was going. And like Krista said, I was growing and people could see that. I'm like, I'm going to do this. And I was claiming it. People signed up with me just because I was excited. They didn't even ask me that many questions because they knew I was new. They just knew I was excited. So don't waste this very magical part of your business by overthinking, by letting fear take over. I saw this the other day, I think Tiffany posted it. Fear has two meanings, and one of them is face everything and rise. You're scared, you feel that fear, but just do it anyways. Use this point in your business and run. And maybe if you're not new, but you're on here and you're like, well, I still need to sign distributors and I'm not new, you can do your own relaunch of your business. Say, guys, I'm getting back on track. I'm going into fall and I'm ready to take 5 people with me who want to make $500 a month. Danny, I just saw your post. It was awesome. 5 people who want to make $500 a month. How would that help you? Moms want to get back on track when it comes to the fall. They want to get their life, So, just say, I'm running, and then prove that to your followers every day where you're consistent and you're sharing your life posts. And one other tip, if you're new, something I did because I wasn't making any money was I absolutely claimed everybody else's income that I saw around me. I was so excited. I wrote my own messages. Every morning I'd get up and I'd work my business before my daughter got up, and I would say, hey, I'm not sure if you know who I am, but I'm a military wife. I just moved here. I know you're new to my Facebook, but I just had to ask you, and I'd say why. My messages weren't great. They were way too long. They're a little bit spammy, but the point is I asked and I claimed my upline's income. I said, I don't know if you need to make money from home, but I do because I want to stay home with my daughter. And my upline, I didn't use the word upline, my girlfriend is making $6,000 a month with this, and she's only 4 months in, and her girlfriend's doing the same. Like, all these women are making money. Do you want to do this with me? And I made it sound like everybody's doing it. Of course, it's not weird. Of course, you don't need to think like I just took the stigma out of it. Like, of course you're gonna do this with me, you know? And I asked everybody. And when I go back through those messages, they're embarrassing. Some of them guys are like this long. Like, they shouldn't be that long, my messenger. But the point is, I asked, you know, and I was excited, and I used that excitement. I think so the second time I launched my business, that's why it took off, you know? Those are my tips.
So good. Okay, guys, real quick, my piece of advice is whatever you're feeling you're lacking in your business, just be prepared to learn it. You know, if you're starting and you're like, I need to find customers, don't sit there and talk about how you don't know how to find customers. Go to YouTube. That's what you're focusing on. Whatever you focus on, you will become good at. And so when you start out your first goal, that's your first win, 4 customers. Like, literally, you're not going to be able to figure it out unless you go learn how to do that. So spend your time, right? Your goal is to sign distributors, get on Zooms like these. You have $1 million training in your YouTube, you know, channels or whatever. Go find it. Be resourceful. Take quitting off the table. If you have an objection, a hurdle, a problem, your mindset immediately needs to go to, how do I get around this? Not how do I back away from this? When you have that mindset, you won't lose. You guys, I really appreciate you guys all jumping on. I'm so fired up from this. Like, I have 2 pages of notes, and I would just like to wrap it up. Krista, if you want to just wrap it up with a prayer, that would be awesome. We love you guys.
Sure. Thanks, Jackie. Lord God, thank you so much just for this amazing, amazing time with these amazing leaders. And we just want to thank you for each person that you brought onto our teams and into this business. You are ultimately in the business of changing lives, and you have gifted us with this opportunity to link arms with you and change lives around the world. So thank you so much for that. And we know that if we will just place our trust in you and let go of our attachment to the past, and we can choose familiarity, we can choose freedom over the familiarity of our past, Lord. And we just ask that for each person on this team. We pray that you would show them that you will provide for them and that you have all kinds of good gifts for them. I just pray a huge blessing and favor over this group that has come out tonight. And we just love you. And just I pray that each one on this Zoom tonight would know how deep your love is for them, and that they would feel some sort of connection with you tonight and just go forward into their week just feeling super blessed and super excited. In your name we pray. Amen.
So good. Oh, that was so good. Okay, I love you guys.